to be done. Grab your lights and come. Whoa.
When we go plant some dasheen and cocoa, gungo peas, gully bean and okra. The vegetable we fi steam with all chocho. Coconut we fi grate make toto. Me love me baby so me plant some cassava. Papa no yam me so I am in good order. Yes, he get your habit from him great grandfather. Granny say when it come to food she know no bother. Mama tell me say, "Why me boy?" Go.
Hello and welcome to another day in paradise. Today I want to talk to you about permaculture and how it could change the face of African agriculture for the foreseeable future. But first I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share and click the bell notification. Now, for those of you who know what permaculture is, and for those of you who don't, I'm going to run down quickly what it is. Permaculture is a way of farming on a large scale, not on a massive scale, but on a large scale, where you are in symbionts with the environment, where you are working with the local environment instead of against it. So it's more than just organic farming. It's like hyper organic farming, because essentially you're using not just the natural environment to produce and reap higher quantities of a certain crop, but you're using it to benefit the environment as well. Now, as diasporans, especially from Jamaica, as a diasporan from Jamaica, we have permaculture in our blood. This is not something that's new for us. We've been using it for hundreds of years. So I'm going to tell you a little story. When we were taken by the British, and we were taken to the island of Jamaica, and we escaped the plantation. We went into the Blue Mountains, hid there, and then grew our own community. We had to, but we had to eat. So how did we eat? Well, we planted certain types of trees, fruit-bearing trees, in the actual forest. There was no like plantation or something like that. We had to use the trees, see which one was the best placed to put, and where they would thrive and grow and give us our food. And we did this, of course, without pesticides, without anything. We had to do this to survive. So there is a direct link with permaculture and with the diasporans, because I'm sure I haven't read up anything about how the African diasporans in America at that time, how they survived when they left the plantation. But certainly in the Caribbean, and definitely in Jamaica, I know this because I've read up on it, this is the way we survived. We survived through permaculture. We designed these systems long before they were a fad or a trend here in the West. So permaculture, much like also called syntropic farming, is a way of life in a way. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but you have to live it. It's not all about making money. It's about designing systems that work with one another to benefit one another. So I know a lot of you are going to be planning to go to Africa to start up your own farms. And permaculture is something that I would strongly recommend you take a look at, because this is going to be something which is going to be the next organic type of farming. People are always looking for organic products here in Western Europe. Permaculturally grown products will be the next big thing. And the thing is that the power is in our hands, because there aren't going to be many mass producers who are going to be able to continue to develop permacultural systems and implement them into their product lines, because the whole point of it is not to make money. It's not about making money. And I know a lot of big companies, that's what it's all about. It's all about the bottom line. With permacultural systems, you can develop your own system. So it's about using the land that you've got to produce more than one crop on that land, and to make sure that that crop works with the other crop that you're growing on that same land. For instance, if you got aphids, pests that eat your strawberries, but you're also growing a type of raspberry that these nymphs, I think they're called nymphs, that they don't like, then you grow them with you grab the raspberries with the strawberries at the same time. I'm just making it for instance. I'm not even sure whether you can grow the two at the same time in the same place, because I believe that they grow differently. But that's just a for instance. So you would grow them both together, and they would work in harmony with one another to protect each other as well, because obviously raspberries, you have lots of physical protections with the raspberries as well, which things like rabbits and other larger pests don't like. So they're not going to come inside the farm and start eating the strawberries. So they're both working with one another to benefit one another. And this is what permaculture is all about. Of course, there is no fertilizers, no pesticides. You don't use any of that. You simply use different types of farming techniques without chemicals, and you create like your own system which works with one another, that benefits one another. It's also a way of producing more crops on one piece of land without destroying the land, because I'm not sure if you know this, but you can't just continuously produce crops on one piece of land year after year after year after year. Eventually you will get soil erosion and it will destroy the soil. But using permaculture, you rotate it in a way in which the soil gets enriched and replenishes itself. So once again, you don't ever have to use any types of fertilizers, because the land fertilizes itself. So like I was saying, syntropic farming, it's the next big thing, and something you should look at if you're planning to go to Ghana. It's something I'm definitely looking at starting when I go to Africa, and I'm literally had a message come through on my last break. I had a message come through where you can learn about this. You can learn about it online, and the good thing about this type of farming is that other farmers, because they live this way of life, and because it's not about the money, they will bring you to their farms and they'll teach you for free. You don't have to pay anything. Go to their farms, you eat from the farm, you stay there for 2 weeks. Yeah, you can stay in Spain or in Switzerland, anywhere. There are places that do it, farms that do it, that work with these systems, and they will teach you how to produce your own systems for any particular crops that you really want. So, like I said, it's a very exciting time for the farming industry, especially for Africa, because we have that blank slate, you know, especially in West Africa, where it hasn't been farmed almost at all, but we've got some of the best agricultural land in the world. So this is something we should all be paying some really big attention to. It's frightening that we haven't really discussed this, and that people are looking to make their buck using natural resources, but they think about gold, they think about silver and cobalt and coltan. You know, they don't think about what you can naturally grow in West Africa, which is crops. So yeah, this is what I wanted to just tell you guys about. I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description box below. One is a Facebook account for a syntropic farming group, and you could speak to these people down there, and wherever you're living in the world, there'll be a syntropic farming group down there where they will explain to you where is the closest one that will do a school and teach you how to farm. You have to work on the farm, of course. It's not just for nothing. You have to work on the farm, but of course you're teaching yourself as well at the same time. And it will teach you also the psychology behind it, because you need to have a certain mindset. It's not all about money. The thing is, once you learn the techniques, in 5 years' time, when people here in the West are going to be looking for permaculturally grown wheat, flour and stuff like that, and then all the big manufacturers are going to be like, you're going to have the expertise. You will already known about it. You already have done it. You've already grown it, so you will know about it. So now is the time to get started on it, not later. Don't be late for the bus, you know. The time is now. So anyway, hello little one. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave the information in the links below, like I said. Take a look at it. Some really exciting times ahead if you're planning to go and farm in West Africa. Some really exciting times ahead, but this should not be missed at all. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.